Mr. Shubhomoy Banerjee, co-founder and CEO ezee.ai, to join us over here on the stage for the presentation. Shubhomoy Banerjee is an accomplished business leader, captivating public speaker, and visionary fintech thought leader. He has over 2 decades of experience in the IT and financial service industry. As a co-founder of ezee.ai, Shubho has demonstrated his ability to innovate and create cutting-edge and practical solutions to bring innovation to BFSI industry and break the norm of IT fatigue. He is a recognized expert in his field, having been honored with many awards and accolades for his contribution to the industry. Please welcome him on the stage with a huge, huge round of applause. Everyone, come on. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. Over to you.
Am I audible? Sorry? Yeah. This is a picture which I'm sure all CXOs, especially CIOs and CEOs, see either in their nightmares or in their boardrooms pretty often. It represents someone who is looking at their current ecosystem of all the various solutions which are there and how they are all tangled together. And this has now become the way of how each and every one of us see our system landscape, whether it's an NBFC, bank, or any financial institution. What I'm going to talk about today for the next 10, 12 minutes is how do we actually untangle what we call this as the digital spaghetti. Because earlier we knew about spaghetti being a legacy spaghetti, but today we have a digital spaghetti. So the idea is that if this is the situation all of us are facing today, what is it that we can do to actually untangle this? So I will talk about a few things. What is a digital spaghetti? How did we get here? What are the things we can do to untangle it, and how ezee.ai actually is helping doing that? So if you look at it, we are talking to multiple NBFCs across the country. This is a typical scenario of lines of business and system, and this is a live case of one very large NBFC we are talking to right now. And what you will see is that for each of these, there is multiple vendors trying to do various things, right? So there is one vendor across for consumer durables, they are giving multiple solutions, etc. So before you know, across this you have about 10 or 12 vendors who are trying to do all of this ecosystem. And eventually what happens when you get all of this together, it will form a spaghetti. That is essentially how it ends up happening. And this is the case across the board. So the idea is that, okay, how did we get to this world of the spaghetti? So I'm going to talk in two terms. One is that what are the causes and what are the effects? So there are two causes that we look at and the two effects. So the first is the technology spaghetti is a main reason for this digital spaghetti. So what do I mean by that? So it means that technology itself is actually pushing the spaghetti, because you have multiple things. You have Java, you have Node.js, you have Oracle, you have Salesforce, you have these things. There are multiple different technologies which is actually creating this particular issue. Then you have data, because data is coming from different systems, data is coming from different places, that is creating a spaghetti in itself. Then you have processes. This is probably one of the most important things, because each system will have its own process which it will mandate, which means that you have to turn around and do things in that particular fashion. And last but not the least is the commercial, because you have already invested in something and there is pressure of actually maximizing that investment from the board to say, okay, how are you going to maximize this investment? So all of this together is how the technology spaghetti really, really gets created. And then what happens is that there is another cause to this, is that IT fatigue. So what is an IT fatigue? If you talk to any CIO, and and Vijay sir just spoke about it right now, this is actually a big issue, because everyone is so concerned from a risk awareness aversion perspective that the cost to change is too high. The competing IT priorities, there are 20 different things going on. And dependence on vendors is so high. So each of this together leads to IT fatigue, where you never get time to actually untangle that spaghetti. So these are the two causes which we believe actually creates this digital spaghetti. Now, if these are the causes, what is actually the effect? The effect is it is going to be status quo. That means you are continuously going to remain in that spaghetti. You cannot move out of it. And the second thing, which is probably more this thing, is that you are always going to have the inability to grow because of that spaghetti. Whenever you want to do something new, rather than untangling that, you are actually going to do another layer on top of it, which is going to create the spaghetti. So this is what we believe is what is happening in the market space across industries across the globe in terms of what is creating this digital spaghetti. So then the pertinent question is who we are, what we do, and how we are, solving this particular thing. So we are a tech fin company. We are not we talk about fintech. We are a tech fin company because we provide leading edge technology to all financial customers. We are a true blue no code platform. We don't write a single line of code. That is what our USP is. What it does is that it takes you away from writing all of these huge lines of codes, integration, mixing and matching, etc. It's a pure drag and drop kind of a situation. And we partner with all the banks and NBFCs across the digital landscape, across the digital banking spectrum, and I'll talk about that in a little later. A combination of all of this is that it allows all the businesses to whether it's NBFC or whether it is the banks to actually focus on innovation and come up with new products rather than really worry about the technology aspects of it. And there are then 350 plus integrations which actually come pre-built into it, which actually help in progressing that further. So what do we offer which actually helps untangle this? So I will just give you a quick snapshot. So though we are an Indian company, we are actually very proud to say that we have taken our Indian product globally. So we are working in 55 customers across 8 countries, across 4 continents. So it's a product which is built in India, but actually for the world and across the globe. This one single platform, just one version, is supporting all of these products, right from something in Delhi to to Chennai to to Mumbai to Sydney to Southeast Asia, all out of the single platform, which is ezee.ai. So that is the power of what we are able to build as a single platform, which actually helps that. In terms of, I will give you a different view of what that same spaghetti actually looks like and what is the cause for that. This is a typical NBFC system landscape. I'm sure all of you, will relate to this, right? You will have right from customer channels, customer engagement, business systems, payment systems, all of this. Now, what ends up happening is that in each of these boxes, like let's say if you say a loan origination, like we spoke, within that NBFC, depending on business lines, you might have 3 or 4 loan origination systems. You might have 2 collections. You might have 2 LMSs, etc. So this is essentially what a typical system landscape in NBFC today looks like. It's a pretty well representative one. And each of these boxes then dial down into multiple different boxes. What we do is that all of these ones in the green are something which is actually, given by us. So we collapse all of that complexity into one single platform. This is one of the key ways what we are saying is that rather than having these multiple things, can we provide one single platform which actually helps collapse all of this into a more simpler, more easier way of doing business? Why ezee.ai? I think we'll cover just a few points. So functionality, essentially, because like I said, we are providing the system across the globe, across so many products. It has the depth and it has the 360-degree functionality, speed and agility. Because it's a low-code platform, we are able to provide the speed and agility to business. We are launching with one of the largest corporate or the largest corporate, conglomerate in India, who is launching an NBFC. 6 weeks we actually, went live. So that's the speed and agility which we are talking about. It's going live tomorrow. We'll be announcing soon. In terms of architecture, cloud native microservices, because it's all cloud first, like the previous panel was talking about. Integration, we have a plug and play. Again, over there, we write not a single line of code. That's what we, kind of do. Scalability, we are talking about huge volumes across, the globe, which is running out of the single platform because this becomes an important thing, in India. Security, ownership, cost, these are some of the things which are very, very important in terms of driving it, down. And lastly, because it's a zero code platform, practically no vendor dependency at all. Now, I want to just put an overlay, another layer on top of this. So if you look at any CXO, right, there are three things which they look at: top line, bottom line, and customer satisfaction. So if you see, each of these elements have have one or the other actually, which it is impacting. So in a nutshell, what we are saying is that the technology spaghetti is here and now. It is there. These are the things which are driving the technology spaghetti. So what we believe is that a single unified platform, which is a no-code platform, can actually help in a big way in kind of solving that. So thanks for your time. You've been a great audience. If there are any questions, please come and visit us over there. We will be happy to actually showcase some of our systems to you. Thank you.
To felicitate, sir, I request Mr. Vijay Kumar Ramakrishnan, CTO, Clicks Capital Services, please join us. Please give a huge round of applause, all of you. Please felicitate him with the magazine. We have Elets, the Banking and Finance Post magazine, and with the memento. Please give a huge round of applause, all of you. Come on. Actually, you want to say something?
I just want to say something good about this, guys, is that I also I had an offer of ED and CCIO with one of the Uganda bank. I couldn't join. So I joined as a CEO with an IT services company. I ran that company. But when the COVID happened, we laid off few guys. But this guys, when the COVID happened, they didn't laid off a single resource. So I would like to, from a humanitarian perspective, I think they did a fantastic job. That none of the guys in Chennai, Bangalore, or anywhere in Australia, New Zealand, they didn't laid off a single resource during the COVID time, and they didn't even cut the salary. They paid the full salary. So that connected me with them, and that's the reason we gave the first order. And the Reliance, few of my guys in Reliance and other Sallies, they gave the order. So thanks a ton for being such a great gesture, not firing a single resource during the entire COVID time. So I think that's the greatness. And he's a CEO, and I think that's a great sign of a CEO, because I did an entrepreneurship for those 2 years, and I know it's very difficult to do sales. I mean, the most toughest job on earth is to do sales and not to fire a single resource during when the chips are down. And you guys did a great, fantastic job. Thank you. Thanks a lot, and wishing you all the best. Thanks.